Hello, everyone. My name is Josh,
I'm Joey.
And I'm Tommy.
and welcome back to the Fan Geared Podcast for another week.
How's it going?
How have you
Good.
all been?
Pretty
Good.
good.
Let's take some calls.
Hello.
Audience is doing good too. They just told me. Well, today we're going to be talking about wrestling,
And
professional wrestling, and is it the nerd sport?
yes.
Yes.
No. Wait.
Yes.
Oh,
The
Yes.
there you
end.
go. You have your
All
answer.
right. See you guys next week.
We can't do that joke again.
Well, we just did.
That's our joke, Joey.
Yeah. Just like I'm Josh, you're Joey, and he's Joey.
Yeah. But we didn't do that this time.
Yeah, well, next time.
We're still
Okay.
recording.
Yeah, we're still recording. We're not stopping recording.
No, yeah, this is
Why
This is
gold.
it.
This is
Look,
this is
I
what
say
people
we jump right into it.
Okay. Skip the pleasantries.
Dolph Ziggler is the greatest wrestler of all time.
Okay.
And,
I would say you have an argument.
what are we talking about?
Is wrestling
Ethics
the
in
nerd
wrestling journalism.
ethics in wrestling journalism?
Should we clarify what kind of wrestling?
Professional wrestling.
WWE, formerly known as WWF, but they didn't handle their legal business
Yeah.
and they got sued.
I mean,
Breaking news.
you'd think they'd know better,
Yeah.
being as big as they were. But anyway, short answer, and then we'll get into some explanations. Is wrestling the nerd sport?
Short answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Short answer, no.
Short
What?
answer. Yes. All right. Good. We have some point of
You're
contention.
going no?
It's not a sport.
All right.
Yes, it
okay.
is.
Well,
No, it's an art.
all right.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
what's hey?
is
What's
it,
the bigger? Which one sounds more far fetched? That it's a sport or an art?
I don't know. But anyway, explain, Joey.
Okay, it's scripted.
Sure.
You have performance.
I don't think that's the argument we're trying to make.
There's
here.
improv. It's not the things that are sport. It doesn't match the definition of a sport. I think it's an art, and I think it should be treated as such.
Okay, but is the community that watches it becoming more and more for the people who like video games and nerdy movies and TV shows? I'm using nerdy
Honestly,
very loosely. Right
I think
here,
it's
but-
even beyond that. I think people who like wrestling now are like hated in the way that people who used to like
It,
video
it, it,
games
it
long
has a
ago.
weird stigma to
Yeah,
it.
I
It
think
does.
it's sort of, it never caught on with the whole like video games and movie nerd culture where that's like, it's cool now. Superhero movies, everybody loves those. Comic books, people like those. I
Now,
feel like
yeah.
wrestling is still
But
not
wrestling wasn't
popular.
always for that audience, and now it seems like more and more that audience is like latching onto it.
Yeah, it used to be for rednecks, so
Yeah,
the fact
Oh,
that
that's-
it's
yeah.
like
that's what we're saying. Is,
Well, yeah, I think we finally have like characters in wrestling that are supposed to break down those walls. I think
Yeah.
it's not an accident that this is happening.
sure. I think, but is that in response to the new audience though? I don't think that's bringing in the new audience. I think that might be in response to the new audience.
You think this is what they want, what they're clamoring for?
Yeah.
Hashtag cancel WWE Network.
Yes.
No.
So a few months late on that one.
No, what I'm just saying, people want a certain thing.
Yeah.
Although,
We should say the three of us are wrestling fans.
sure,
fanatics.
We live in.
well,
It's a long
Tommy's a
way.
fanatic. I'm just a fan.
Okay, yeah. We live in San Jose. We just went to WrestleMania this past year in Santa Clara.
It was amazing.
It was
Yes,
pretty
it was
awesome. That
amazing.
RKO out of nowhere
Okay.
was
Oh,
the best thing that's ever happened to
Oh
me.
my God.
Was seeing that live.
I feel like-
I don't think there's a day that goes by I don't think about that.
Definitely
sad.
are days that go by. I don't think about that, but definitely a long time after that, I was,
It was so
definitely
cool.
still thinking about
And
it.
then we went to Raw the next day.
I did not.
Ooh, this,
No, Joey didn't go. Me and Tommy went.
this Sunday, Elimination Chamber. Are we gonna watch it?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good elimination chamber. And yeah, but just to put that out there, we are all fans. So yeah, keep that in mind.
We're not haters.
Oh yeah, we're definitely not haters. I don't think anything
No, I
can
love-
come off as hatery either.
We're
I think we
lovers.
should.
We're lovers.
Yeah, just talking about the dynamics.
And most importantly, is it for this audience?
Let me say Yes.
Okay,
Otherwise, the audience wouldn't be there, obviously.
right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what
Yeah,
we
wait.
talked a little bit about what we thought was kind of the catalyst for the bridging that gap.
Bridging that gap.
And the first thing I can remember, and this probably goes back a little further, but the first thing I really noticed recently was the new friendship between CM Punk and Chris Hardwick.
Oh, you think that's where this started?
I think that kind of really brought it more into the mainstream of nerd culture. I'm doing air
Right.
quotes.
That could be. Because I think that might have been my first like connection that I drew between them as well when he was on the podcast. He's done this podcast
Yeah.
a few times, right?
Yeah, and then he has a pretty good. They have a pretty good friendship. He's done stuff on the Nerdist channel. He's done Talking Dead.
Oh
and
yeah.
all that
does
stuff. More wrestlers have been on the Nerdist podcast since then. And yeah,
That could
so
be.
I'm
But
thinking that
is that the sole reason why?
it's a
This
mark on the
demographic-
it's a mark on the timeline.
Sure, but I don't know. I feel like it was bound to happen because, like I said, I think that it's an art form, and the people who are involved in and like nerd culture, movies,
Right.
video games, comic books, all these things, those same elements exist.
Mhm.
It's just translated in a different medium.
It's also definitely something where there's a slightly deeper understanding to be had.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be. You don't have to delve that deep into it to enjoy it, but
Right.
it's there and you can, and that makes it more entertaining for certain people.
At the same time, it's also something where if you only take it for face value, which the majority of the world does
Right.
with
Then
wrestling,
it looks pretty dumb.
it looks dumb.
Yeah.
But just like all these other things, where
Right.
you're like, oh, this stuff is stupid, it's pointless, but then you delve deeper into it, and that's
Right.
the same thing that nerd culture does, or what those people look for in
Right.
the things that they like.
Mhm.
So I think it was always gonna happen.
Sure. Yeah. That's definitely. I can definitely see that. Tommy, what do you think about that? What is okay? So I would say Tommy. We got Tommy into it.
Yeah.
But Tommy has
Oh, yeah.
surpassed our fandom.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tenfold.
Pretty big fan
I
of
would say
wrestling.
tenfold.
Okay.
Watched some NXT this morning. It's like a
Nice.
spin-off.
Now you have the WWE network.
I got the network. Use it at least on a weekly basis.
Do you think are you getting your money's worth?
Yeah, I mean,
Because you watch all the pay-per-view and like all those.
yeah.
that you
So
get for free,
pay-per-views
right?
are like $50, and there's one a month. If you pay a $10 monthly fee, you can watch the pay-per-view that comes out that month, plus every pay-per-view that's ever existed,
Oh, shoot. So you're
plus
saving
other
40
original
bucks.
programming.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, I would say the only reason people are getting it is for the pay-per-views.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if you watch
Well,
it that much,
Is the
then
other content
obviously
really
you're
that
gonna
good
save
besides
money.
NXT?
I haven't watched any of it.
Yeah.
I watch
So
NXT
probably
and
not.
pay-per-views, but
There you go.
But I mean, that
Point
seems to be worth
proven.
it.
But
If,
still.
if you're somebody who buys them anyway, then like, why not?
Those other shows look so bad, though.
I haven't even.
They look
looked
so
at them.
dumb.
okay, but the network is helping grow the audience because
Sure.
it's hard to watch wrestling and not watch the pay-per-views because that's kind of what everything's leading
Yeah.
up to.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. That's like the main event of each event.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
everything's
each
leading up to
storyline.
that.
It's like not watching the season finale.
The
of a
story,
show
yeah,
ever.
exactly. The storyline comes to a head, kind of, and then sometimes they continue, but you know,
That's another interesting point. There is never any seasons in wrestling.
yeah, not
It's-
really. I think they have a technical season cutoff date just for like television, but
Yeah,
it's
but
not like it's still year round.
it airs every single Monday since 1993. Yeah.
Yeah, although at the same time, you listen to the CM Punk Tells All podcast on
Yeah.
who's that guy?
Colt
Colt
Cabana.
Colt Cabana.
Cabana.
It sounds like the decision making with what happens and when things change is just
Yeah, now.
instantly. Yeah,
We'll
it's
do it now.
yeah. It doesn't sound like they really are planning or thinking too deeply into, or at least when Vince McMahon gets his hands on it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are things we don't know. There has to be.
I'm sure. I
We
mean,
can't, the curtain is not completely lifted on everything that goes on behind the scenes because of
right, but it wouldn't surprise me that the people in charge use their power in a way that is not what's best for the show.
Maybe. Sure, there are probably some personal
Yeah, I mean, it's a business.
things that they do to certain people if they don't like them or whatever. I don't know. That I don't think is for me to speculate on.
I don't know, because I think that's why we are seeing a change from the sort of the old way, where there was sort of like, oh, this is the way that things are done.
Uh-huh.
And now we're seeing like, no, let's write this, let's treat it as an art form and do what's best for the show.
I would argue that that's still not happening.
No, I don't think it's happening, but that's what people want. That's why hashtag cancel WWE Network was happening.
Well, that was
a lot
thought
of
that
people
was
are
kind
angry.
that was kind of an immature. Like,
No, of course it is.
We don't like
I mean,
that
you can't-
Roman Reigns one.
Of course it is. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not. If you want to change the show, become a writer and write on the show.
Yeah.
You can't just yell.
Yeah. Send an
Scream.
angry hashtag.
Yeah.
A trending hashtag though.
Albeit.
That's hard to do nowadays.
Yeah.
Is
But
Nope.
but I don't know.
Yeah. What does even trending even
the
mean? Like,
algorithm for trending is
what's the
is,
list?
kind of
If you get to 50,
You're up there.
you're on the list.
I don't know.
You're
It
allowed
has
to
to do
say.
with like timing. It's like because something
How
can be
many
more
in it?
popular, but if it had more things like a week before your current one, then it's still not in the running. It's like trending currently.
There
So
has to be a current.
it doesn't make it more or less popular than anything else. It's just hashtag tangent.
Yeah, I got a tangent for you. Was that a baby?
A baby.
What? It was a dog.
Oh,
That was
it has a
rocket
cone on its head.
outside.
I thought it was a bonnet. I don't know.
No,
There's
he
a
just
dog
got-
outside.
The resident dog in my apartment just got he got his
Burped
his
to the
special
mic.
operation.
Got his balls
it's
chopped.
special- Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes is the answer to the initial question.
So it is a baby. That's what you're saying.
So it is a baby. We can confirm. Hashtag baby.
Okay, confirmed.
Hashtag
Yes,
family
okay,
baby.
yes. Wrestling is to nerds as UFC is to bros.
Let's get into that too, because CM Punk is now a UFC or
Is he? I
Yes.
know he
He's
was
training.
for a while, but
he
is
hasn't
he
fought yet.
actually?
He's training,
You have to train for like years before you can
Well,
actually
yeah,
fight.
of course.
and plus,
But I mean,
he's like
he's-
an old man basically.
Yeah,
so he's
he's
gonna die.
definitely getting up there in
No,
age.
he's looking really buff though.
Well,
I'm
good,
sure he
but
is.
he's still like
Which is weird because
he's older. He's like well into his fighting career and now just starting UFC.
Yeah, that's honestly.
dangerous.
But I think he's always been trained in
Martial
some
arts,
different things, a
yeah.
few different things he
Sure.
talked about. So he's a fighter, but
He's
yeah,
a great
starting
fighter.
this age, that's not easy.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I don't know. I'd be interested to see that. I like.
Oh, I'm
I
definitely
don't.
gonna
See, why
watch
would
it.
someone have a problem with that? He's a person. He can do whatever he
Oh
wants.
yeah, no, I don't have a problem
Like-
with it for sure.
No,
So
but I'm sure there are
dangerous, but-
people that are like. I mean, same thing with Brock Lesnar. I don't like him as a wrestler because I just don't think he's very good.
He's not a good
and
wrestler.
and
no.
he's getting a lot more attention than I think he deserves. I think he needs to work his way up and earn something.
I think, and this has just become a talk about wrestling, which is fine with me. But say I don't necessarily enjoy watching John Cena.
That's an understatement.
I wouldn't say that I enjoy watching him. However, like Brock Lesnar and The Rock or whoever and The Undertaker, who are there every once in a while fighting giant matches just because whatever.
That's because
John Cena fights every single week, multiple times.
that's because like those guys used to be John Cena 10 years ago.
yeah.
In the future,
Yeah,
John Cena's gonna come
Brock
back once a
Lesnar's
year.
not like that. He only fights his title matches at the pay-per-view, and that's it.
I think they need the Brock Lesnar character in the format they're in.
I mean, he must be drawing in a lot of fans.
Oh yeah,
No,
I'm sure he is.
definitely.
But, this is why I don't like it. And not even as a like, oh, I don't like those people. From a like keeping things interesting
I am
standpoint.
so not interested in Undertaker
And for-
anymore. It's ridiculous. He's not even. He has nothing anymore. He doesn't
Well-
even have the streak.
I don't get. Let's not get
It's the
started.
greatest
on that.
performer in WrestleMania history still.
Not still.
Right,
Yeah.
but actually,
His
well,
performances now are pretty terrible.
it was not great.
It was
at
so
WrestleMania.
boring.
It wasn't.
Not even Bray Wyatt could save him.
Yeah, I didn't like that fight.
Unless Bray Wyatt won. In that case, it would have been a great match.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that, but that's the
He
thing.
doesn't even promote his matches anymore. He just shows up for them.
At least
We're
with the
gonna have to
Undertaker.
let this go and let Joey get a start
really
out.
can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna forget.
Go for
At
it.
least with the Undertaker, his previous matches at WrestleMania were, he always kept them interesting. There was something new, even though he has his he always does his
Well, the things
going
that
old
were-
school
well,
and all
one
of
of the
his
best
classic
matches,
moves.
Yeah, one of the best
But-
matches of all time was Undertaker and Triple H.
Oh yeah,
That was an incredible match.
like
I would
3
say
years
that was
ago.
probably his
no,
last.
that was more than 3 years ago.
That was his 20th win,
There was a few. Well, after that was CM Punk,
which
and
was
then
21.
and then Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
and then Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
CM Punk should have ended this. If it wasn't Triple H, it should have been CM Punk. But there's no way they would have let CM Punk do that.
No, they definitely were not. But they should have had somebody do it. That I think Triple H should end it.
I think it should have been
Honestly.
Triple H. I think that one should have been.
Yeah,
And then, because now we have then we do the
I mean,
Triple
at
H
least he's
match.
still active.
Yeah,
Like
I think. I mean, Triple H doesn't have the streak, but I think he could have taken over the yearly match for WrestleMania, the Triple H match, not the Undertaker match,
Yeah.
and then stop the Undertaker match completely.
yeah, that's what should have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, but of course they gave it to Brock Lesnar, and I was so mad.
I didn't like.
so mad.
I honestly, they must have either owed him something big, or
Yeah.
they were saying, okay, we're gonna give this to him, and this is gonna just boost him up. Everyone's gonna love him because like this is a crazy thing to happen. Like
No, it
they
didn't.
know that it's gonna mean so
No,
much.
it didn't boost him up. And,
No,
like
it didn't.
it's not supposed to make people love him. It's supposed to, like, show that he is this crazy beast that like can never be beaten, except
Paul
for
Heyman
CM
does a
Punk at
great job,
SummerSlam.
though.
But he doesn't. Yeah, Paul Heyman can sell it, but he can't sell it. I don't believe him.
No. Well, he has a stupid voice.
How long have we been talking about wrestling?
Yeah.
I'll talk about it forever.
Yeah, I mean, let's keep going on this. It's I would say that this falls into the realm of fandoms, and especially within this demo.
Yeah.
Well, here's something that you guys will like. Involves CM Punk. The guy who actually invented the GTS finishing maneuver finally pulled it out like a couple days before WrestleMania in San Jose on NXT.
Oh, nice.
They did a live show in San Jose that sold out in like 2 hours.
Huh?
And
You tried to go.
no, I started watching NXT like right after WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the Asian guy, he's the new GTSer. So
All right.
look for him on the main roster.
Good.
Wait, so he's the original creator of it?
That's what they say. He was like a big star in Japan.
Oh.
No.
Was
okay.
it is that one dude? I don't know.
Who?
Isn't there a guy from Japan?
Yoshi?
Oh, Yoshi. Yeah.
Yoshitatsu.
Is he the guy who loses all the time?
He's the one who they put
Yeah.
in when someone needs to do their first match.
That's
and
a
win.
that's a
He got-
rough career.
He
Yeah,
got
it's-
fired
Yeah.
I mean,
for losing too much.
yeah, they made him lose, and then
Yeah. And then it's
got
like,
fired
yeah, you
for
know,
it.
you're just not winning enough. It's our fault. But
Sorry, man.
Okay, that sounds silly, but John Cena and Randy Orton get winning bonuses. Like, they get an extra bonus on their paycheck when they win a big match.
And it's decided when.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's-
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
a big part of that industry and being successful is pushing yourself to the writers, saying, "Come on, like, give me a chance, like, give me this win,"
Yeah.
and then.
But
I'll
ultimately,
try to, like-
it comes down to how many people want to watch you, how much merch are you selling.
Right, exactly.
And
But pull out and get a push on the show, then those things will go
Well,
up.
right,
If you
of
have
course.
what it takes, those things will increase as well.
Yeah.
But initially, you have to push for it. I was listening to a podcast with Mick Foley, and he was talking about Zack Ryder, and I guess he had told him, "Hey man, I'm just not getting pushed. Like I don't know what to do. Like it sucks." And then Mick Foley said to him, "Well, have you talked to Vince?" And he's like, "Well, no." And I was like, "Then what do you think's gonna happen?" Like, you're not going to get pushed if you don't ask for it.
Nobody's gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
Zack
exactly.
Ryder got pushed last week.
Well, in what is likely his last match ever.
What happened last week?
He fought with the Entourage guys against John Cena.
Oh,
Oh my god.
No, they were in Long Island, which is like his hometown.
Yeah, which is
And,
the
like-
only reason he was on the show.
Well, from the opening of the show, the crowd was chanting "We want Ryder,"
Well, yeah, because
and
that's
then
his hometown.
John Cena did his open challenge, and Ryder came out and challenged him
With the guys
with
from Entourage.
the cast of Entourage,
Who
the movie.
nobody liked.
Yeah.
They booed him until they knew that he was both with Zack Ryder and against John Cena,
Yeah,
which was probably a genius move on the writer's parts.
Can we talk
Right.
about Entourage for a minute?
Sure.
nope.
Because I feel like now that we've bridged that gap.
There is no Entourage 2.
What are you talking about?
In
Yeah, remember everyone who's listening?
no, in the show, Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh.
He's auditioning for it. He's like, there is no Entourage 2, and the whole bar just starts applauding.
Oh yeah, when they do the gay training or the
Yeah,
straight training.
He's trying to pass.
That was so funny.
This is really funny.
So you watched it?
We finished, yeah.
It's so good.
It's really good.
Did you watch it, Tommy?
What?
Yes. Kimmy Schmidt,
Schmidt?
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, no.
On
It's
Netflix.
so good.
You like 30 Rock, right?
No, I've never watched 30 Rock.
Yeah, how have you gone over this?
Okay, well,
Watch both of those, they're amazing.
it's but Kimmy Schmidt. I mean, one season. It's only like 13 episodes. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a lot quicker.
They're
13
pretty
episodes.
They're easily digestible,
22
22 minutes,
minutes.
and they're hilarious.
Yeah,
And
I've
so-
watched multiple of them twice and 3 times
So have
because
I.
they're so and there's so many hidden
Yeah,
and
little
such things that are so quick that you really need to watch it again to get it all.
Oh, so you're telling me I have to watch it twice?
Maybe
No.
26
twice.
episodes.
Anyway,
So that's a
hashtag tangent.
wait, but I didn't get to talk about Entourage.
Oh, okay.
Why do you want
Is
to?
okay because Entourage movie's coming out.
Yeah.
Starring Ronda Rousey.
I'm having a real dilemma because I think it's gonna be terrible. But I liked
Obviously.
the first 4 seasons of the show. But that's what I'm confused about. Like it has a reputation for being like
When it was first announced, it was everybody was like, yes.
really. I thought it was the opposite.
Well,
oh, you mean
no,
the movie?
The movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And just recently, it kind of seems to have gone the opposite
Well,
way,
so
where no one wants it anymore.
I watched the show about maybe 2 years ago, and I looked it up and like, you know, if there was going to be a movie because I had heard that there was talks or people wanted
Yeah.
it, and you know it was at that point it was just people like, yeah, you know, we wrote a script, like we can't. I don't think they could get funding for it, or they just couldn't get the timing right with everybody to film it, or what.
Mm-hmm.
But then like time passed and people started to not be excited for it anymore.
Yeah.
I think the time has passed.
Yeah. It's been a long time since it went off the air.
Yeah, no, it has. But my confusion with Entourage is that, like, it's an HBO show.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
So when's the Game of Thrones
you
movie
sort
coming
of,
out?
I have a certain respect for it because
It's,
I mean, there's a certain quality on HBO.
in watching, I've only watched like 4 episodes.
Yeah, but
It didn't hook me right away for sure, and I would say that I didn't continue watching it.
see, I think this is what the problem
I guess
is.
I plan on it, but I don't know.
The characters are extremely douchey.
Yeah,
That's what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But this is the problem. And, like, you can look at it and say, okay, that's just their characters. The problem is that they're supposed to be Mark Wahlberg
yeah,
and his entourage.
yeah, the real people.
And it's, so it's not supposed to, I don't think he thinks that they're douchey. I
Yeah.
think he's like, no, this is how we are.
yeah.
We're cool guys.
They were like kind of above the Hollywood elite. Like they think that they were above them because they
Right.
came from like lower beginnings.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know what really like took me out of it when I was watching it, because I watched it like last year, those episodes, and when I was watching it, all the references were so timely. Like Jessica Alba, she's huge
Yeah,
right now.
just-
She's gonna be in this new movie.
That's
like,
so
no,
true.
she's not.
That is true.
And I couldn't. It really took me out of it.
That's kind of like a thing. And I mean, obviously it takes place in LA, Hollywood.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there has to be a lot of cameos and they have to talk
Yeah,
about stars
and
and
Jessica
things.
Alba's there, and she's like, "This is the big actor." And at the time, I'm sure that was a huge selling point. Like these like A-list celebrities are in the show
Mm.
playing themselves,
Right.
but now I don't care about Jessica Alba.
Hey, well now you can care about Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very timely.
Yeah, she's a great actor.
Speaking of which, she was at WrestleMania, back to wrestling.
She did great.
She did terrible.
I think it
transition.
just went on too long, but I think she did.
I think she did
fine.
great at WrestleMania. She was cool.
She was
Yeah,
a real momentum killer.
Well,
I
yeah,
think that whole thing was a momentum
It
killer.
was
I
slow,
don't
but
know.
they had to bring out The Rock, and they
Yeah.
had to have Ronda Rousey flip Triple H,
Yeah.
and
If
that-
they had-
I thought that was cool.
If
I
they,
thought
they
that
had
was
cut the time in half
Yeah.
that the whole thing took place, I think it would have been like,
Right.
okay, cool. That was a cool little thing they did. But
You know, they should have cut the musical performance. God. There was not a
honestly-
single applause.
I
Not
honestly-
one
I
person
know.
clapped
I
after
feel
that.
I just feel bad for them whenever the people play there. Nobody's
Not-
going there for music.
Not one person
I
clapped.
was there for Travis Barker.
I was there for
It
Pitbull.
was definitely
Pitbull was
We were
there.
trying to see Pitbull, but
Oh my
unfortunately
God.
not this
Could you
year.
imagine if Pitbull played though? That
Crowd
would've
would've
been
gone crazy.
That
different.
crowd would have gone
wow.
crazy for sure. Yeah, if only they had set those three people up in a match against John Cena, then they might have applauded for them.
Wait, Pitbull and John Cena?
No, the people who performed. I
Oh.
forget their names already. Besides Travis Barker.
Yeah, I have no idea who they were, but yeah, that would have been.
They were
interesting.
terrible, and he was so obviously not playing drums, like clearly not playing. It was really bad.
Yeah.
Nothing synced. It wasn't cool. There was way too many fireworks afterwards, and then when the fireworks were over, still no applause,
No
at
applause.
all.
Just- I think that's why they did the fireworks
So
right after.
awkward. They were hoping that maybe at least somebody will clap for the fireworks, but they didn't.
I want to do something. You have to catch on.
Okay.
When I say awkward, you say silence. Awkward. Awkward.
All right.
Why?
Did we do it?
What?
Yeah, you did
we
it.
pass
You
the
did it.
test
You passed
there?
it. No, you passed it.
All right. Well, that seems like a good time to.
I'm glad you
transition.
shared that.
So, in conclusion on wrestling, we think it's starting a full-fledged transition into a nerd
Nerddom.
sport.
It's halfway there.
I was like- I don't know, but okay, really quick. What does the fool there look like then? I mean,
Acceptance of everyone. Because, like, if you say, oh, I'm a fan of football, there's like a 2% of people
Okay.
who will be like,
I see.
why? Like, those guys are douchebags.
So you think that
But if
there's
you,
still some people who would say, like, if I told them, oh yeah, I love wrestling, who are in that nerddom,
Why
who would
it's
say
fake.
like, why that's
it's fake.
sports, or like,
Yeah.
would say things
Yeah.
like that. But you think that is slowly changing too.
It's growing.
Yeah,
Okay.
the stigma, the audience, I think, is making that shift as well to more of that the nerd thing demographic.
Nerd
And
culture.
into nerd culture, definitely. I mean, it's been covered on IGN for a long time, but it's covered on IGN. A lot of friends within that circle. So yeah, that's where I think it's going.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I do want to make it clear though that I'm not one of you nerds.
Right, of course.
Right.
No, yeah.
Football,
You're a cool guy.
basketball,
Yeah, sorry, third bill.
Dub Nation.
Yeah, we do watch
Raider
real sports
Nation,
also.
all the nations.
AWOL
Go
Nation.
Pack Go.
I can't think of it.
Okay. All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll see you guys afterwards.
Welcome back to Wrestling Cast, Part 2, Sports Talk.
My name is,
My name is Josh.
and I'm Tommy.
I'm Josh.
In this next half, we're gonna kind of keep it in the same theme, in the same family, keep it in the family. Are sports art?
No.
Okay.
I think yes.
I think I have a complex views.
Complex views. Okay. So, I mean, obviously, when I think about wrestling, I think art
Sure.
because it's scripted, but it still has this element of you have to be very physically fit.
Right.
You could really, there's a danger to it if you don't know how to do it. It's not just you're not just going out there and screwing around.
Right.
In the same way that for a sport, a professional sport, you have to be physically fit
Mhm.
and you have to know what you're doing.
Right. There's definitely a technicality to wrestling.
Right.
Wait, you can't use. You have to know what you're doing to link wrestling to other sports. You have to know what you're doing for anything.
But
It's the athleticism, I think, more than anything that
I
makes
think
it a
people
sport.
see a similarity between, oh, here's big buff guys doing something that they're very good at.
Mhm.
Here's also buff big guys doing something they're good at, and they link them. But I don't think that's the link. I think those
it's
are
the
just things.
athleticism. I would say that more than anything, it's an athletic sport. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah,
It's-
because when I think about a sport, I think what makes it a sport is that you are trying to win.
sure.
There's a goal at the end.
Is like regular mat wrestling or UFC MMA a sport?
Yeah.
because
Is a sport in the same exact way?
I think it's
No.
I think it's solely the winning that makes it a sport because
Okay.
and that's what
besides the
differs.
predetermined ending.
No, that's
It's
why I
not-
think professional wrestling WWE is not a sport
Okay.
because
Yeah.
there are no winners. I mean, we have a winner,
There are
but
winners.
it's not. It's decided before.
But that
it's not
kind of
the
goes.
same.
That kind of goes back to what we were saying about the winner isn't necessarily decided by the storyline. It's decided by who's the more popular wrestler or what will be like best for business.
Right, and that's looking at it in a very abstract way, or really going beyond
in
just
that way, one
in the
could
ring.
win because they're better in a different sense.
Right.
Not necessarily the better fighter, but the better for what should happen.
but I think that's
Does that
that's
make it?
that's outside of the arena that is where the sport takes place.
Sure.
Because that's like saying
I
if
guess you
football
could.
players.
This might be a bit of a stretch, but if say a studio is looking to cast a part, the winner of that role is the one that will be best for business.
Right.
So which is towards the art argument.
Yeah, but and at the same time, another sort of analogy is within sports, like football, where we consider that a sport.
Mm-hmm.
They are drafting people and trying to get different people to play in their game, but that's part of the sport.
Right.
Who you get on your team.
Yeah.
So
But I guess what the question is we know what wrestling has a really good argument for it being an art
Yeah.
because it is written, it's a performance, all that. But what makes other sports similar?
see, I mean,
Tommy,
it's
They're not. I don't know. Like
you're suppressing. You seem like you're suppressing something there.
real sports aren't similar. Like it's not scripted. Like yeah, you still have to drop a play and stuff, but you don't know what the other team is gonna do.
but you have defenses against that, so you are thinking about what they're going to do.
That's improvisation.
Yeah, you just have to come up with it very quickly. But these people are literally training their bodies so that they can do that very quickly. I think it's an art. I do think that they're an art form because what goes into it, what people watch on TV, like I don't think we really get it.
No.
People who I follow like Chris Cluey.
Chris Cluey.
Is it Cluey or Clue?
It's Cluey.
Clearly.
He, the way he talks about it, in terms of statistics and, the dynamics between players and like all of these factors that nobody thinks about
Right.
or cares about when they're watching a game.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more that goes into it, and the way that a football team moves together and how they function is predetermined, planned out, and then executed in a way very similar to a performance, a dance,
Wrestling.
wrestling.
Okay, so everything's art then.
You can't just
What?
say, fine,
You're right.
podcast over, see you next
And
week.
then what would you consider to not be art?
Whew. There's so much beauty in the world.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that everything can be art, and I think they are all art, but not everything is a sport.
Sure.
I'm just saying that sports can also be art, but art doesn't necessarily have
They
to
can be. When is it not? Is it ever not?
When is art not a sport?
When are sports not
Not
art?
art.
Ooh.
Bowling.
I mean, even that, even very minute, like wrist movements, and
It's a dance.
it's the formation, like how you compose yourself, and doing that every time exactly the same way. That's the
But
goal.
is that an art or a skill?
Skill, but I mean, art is a skill.
Yeah.
No, a skill is just something that.
No,
No, it's.
Google art.
I have to disagree
Google
with you
art.
guys
Give me a
here.
definition.
I'm gonna give you guys an exact definition right now of art. Keep talking while I do it though, so it's not watch me.
Okay.
Okay.
Sports are for guys.
Oh boy. Okay.
Art is for girls.
Okay.
They're different.
Jesus. What year were you born in? 1820s?
Yes.
Man,
Look,
exactly
people.
a century before.
Times are changing, all right? And I'm going to say it right now. If you don't consider yourself to be a staunch feminist, you can stop listening to this right now.
Oh yeah,
Because the next episode,
oh yeah, I already know what the topic is for next.
I have a lesson plan
Feminism?
drawn up.
Yeah, well,
way
it's,
beyond that.
it's based on a timely thing too. The new FIFA game was just announced today.
That's not the biggest FIFA news.
Oh, I know. But the new FIFA game was announced today, and they're finally going to be using the women's league.
Yeah, I actually never thought about that.
Yeah,
I
no
was like,
sports ever use the women's league.
yeah.
Why would they?
Because it's a professional league.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but the men's league is the same rule set, just like faster and
Yeah, but what-
better.
But they're
so,
not
what?
represented.
What are you talking about? Have you ever seen women play soccer?
Hey, actually,
No.
You know what-
Well, they're
you know what-
just as good as
I don't
men.
really
This
watch
is like the one
Oh,
sport
yeah.
where it's like there's really no difference here.
All right,
You
well,
know what the,
that's
you
the
know
one
what the one
sport, then
sport
that's
that
fair.
represents their women in their video games is?
WWE.
WWE wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Except it's not sport. So.
Okay. Back into it. All right, wait. I looked up art,
Art.
but I didn't get it. So keep talking.
Art's like when you paint stuff, right?
It's exactly that and only
I
that.
think
It's like a class you take in middle school.
Right.
an an
Visual
art
art.
form is supposed to be something that you create that represents something else, right?
Right.
Sure.
All right. Ready? Art is a diverse range of human activities and the products of those activities, usually involving imaginative or technical skill.
So I guess the biggest dilemma with saying that football is an art form would be what is created.
Touchdowns.
I mean,
Wins.
I didn't say it, but
Dynasties.
I mean, there's definitely things symbolically created.
No, what are they trying to create?
I mean, I think it's something that's created solely in that moment. When all of those people are doing their thing, they're working as a team, and it is the team that is created in those moments.
I guess
think
that's
that's
what
what
you
we're
could
creating.
say is most art traditionally is not opposed by other art in the moment. It's not in direct competition with other art
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
That's
It's like, so football is one team trying to create something, and the other
With
team
a
trying
hurdle.
to destroy it.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Oh man, that's got
I gotta write that down.
we just completely shattered the universe.
Yeah, I think we changed the game of football forever.
You know, I
at
think
the
we
very
I
least.
think we shattered
I don't think.
the glass ceiling. FIFA 16.
It's like 2K16.
Man, I have no idea what's going on anymore.
You know what a glass ceiling is?
The women pay grade.
It's that at a certain point women can't progress any further than men can.
Yeah.
It's a glass.
But there is an illusion that they can because it is invisible.
Right.
Anyway,
You ever think
that's
about-
next week.
But we'll
That's
get
next
into
week.
that.
Tune in next week for Feminism,
Feminism 101
Yes, please.
women's history.
and the future.
And
more
and
importantly.
women's future. Yeah, I would say more. It's more about
What
that.
about women's present?
All right.
Ooh.
See,
Let's-
Tommy, you're
let's
already
see.
getting into it.
Women's present. That's hard to pinpoint though, because you only got like a second to talk about it.
Less than a second.
Anyway.
A mere moment.
We're hashtag tangent.
Stop trying to trend hashtags.
Well, we're hashtagging tangents, okay? Anyway, so yeah, there's an opposing force to this art, if we are gonna call it that.
Oh, I'm not.
Tommy's not.
I will not.
Me and Joey are.
I will call it that. And
I
I think that's.
I think this is an interesting point.
I think that calling it an art form gives them more credibility.
I would say it's a very unique art form in that case.
Yeah, because otherwise they're just big guys running into each other
Yeah.
for money.
Which and they are.
Yeah.
For a lot of money.
But I mean, the things that they do, I don't think it is
Is it-
sufficient to say that that's all they're doing.
Well, who's the artist?
I think it's
Is it the performers or is it the tactician?
I think it's all of it.
Okay.
In the same way that you have somebody who choreographs a dance and then the dancer does it and creates the art.
Right. So yeah, it's just two different forms of art, I guess.
But it's
I guess
all
you
that.
could say that you could maybe even split those up and say that the dancer or the football player, whatever, is the athlete, and the writer of the play or the choreographer is the artist.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that takes away from the person doing
Yeah.
it. Though. But maybe they are just a vessel.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all they're supposed to be.
Could be
Yeah, I can see that.
pawns in the game.
I think that we can call it art, but when it becomes competitive, that's the point when it's a sport. Cause
Is a sport just then an extension of art?
no,
Like it's an art until it becomes competitive, then it's called a sport, but it's still playing off of artistry.
I mean, if we can't think of any sports that you can't consider art,
What about competitive gaming?
sure, with your guys' arguments, that could be an art.
Yeah, I mean,
You gotta-
same thing. I mean, there's strategy that goes into it.
But is it a sport then because it's competitive?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think so.
Okay.
By our definition of
Well,
what
well, no, the definition of sport says like physical.
I don't see why that like the
Look
those
it
two.
up.
I mean, I can see even if that is what the definition says, it doesn't. Those two things don't go. They're not connected in any way. That's
Right.
just somebody saying that.
Yeah.
But inherently, a sport or doing anything competitively doesn't have to be physical. I mean, bowlers, is that not a sport?
It's pretty
How
physical.
is it?
Is poker a sport?
No.
It isn't. It's played on ESPN.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh, wow.
I think the general definition of a sport is flawed, and it needs to be looked at in a different way, a little more broad, in a broad way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's actually good. That's bringing up video games. It's a good tie-in
Yeah.
for a definition.
And it's also, I would say, relevant. I mean, the video game itself is an art. And
Please don't do this.
please don't
Don't do this.
please don't do this.
Sorry, tangent.
Yeah.
Or not even
Yeah,
tangent. Just
tangent.
things that they don't know about.
What are we not doing?
I didn't want you to throw that phone.
But anyway, yeah, the video game itself is an art.
Right.
Is the playing of it an art? I would say in some cases, the playing of a video game is definitely an art. In fighting games, combos, most of
Well-
those are not, well, in some fighting games, combos are not something you can just go into the game and the game will say, this is how to do this combo. A lot of combos are found
Right.
through
I
playing
think-
the game.
See, I think that's okay that it's unintentional, but I think even without that, it's still an art form, or even bringing someone playing a video game is bringing that art to life. It's doing what it was intended. I don't think a video game on its own is the way that the artist wanted it to be. It's meant to be played.
It's the
That
playing of
is
it, right.
the art form.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's the experience. It's just like any movie or TV show. It's the experience of doing it.
right. So if you didn't want to say that playing a video game is creating art, then that would go along with your argument that maybe it's the artist is the person who made it, and
Yeah.
then someone playing it is just like the athlete
The
bringing
vessel.
that idea, the previously thought of ideas or strategies to life
Sure.
and actualizing
The
it.
fulfilling of it.
Yeah.
And how does playing a video game or watching, or say, how does playing a video game compare to looking at an art piece or watching a movie?
See, I think it's in that same way. For a painting, you don't have to do anything with it. You're looking at it is actualizing that art piece. Something that we can all do. Well, most
But
people
the
can,
playing
I
of
guess.
it is more of an action.
Sorry, I wanted to be sensitive to
Why
it.
do you have to offend all the blind people?
You know, honestly, something I never thought of until right this second. I bet blind people love podcasts.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's like a revolutionary medium for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm saying that's a good thing. Like, it's
Yeah.
good that we have podcasts now, that there are a lot of them out there, because...
Hmm. One day they'll invent music, and then they'll really have something to like.
Okay, you know what?
Blind people can watch TV.
Yeah, I
There's,
know.
there's like a
Where they...
like a subtitle feature, but it's just someone explaining what's happening.
Yeah, where they explain that. But I feel like any blind people who are listening, write in if you've ever used those. Is it
How are they gonna
is it
write
that
in?
good?
Yeah.
They can still type on a. They have
How are they gonna
computers that
know
have
which key to
braille.
switch?
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, yeah, I think it's definitely interesting. The action of playing a video game is what I think what makes it more of a sport. And yeah, so we're gonna, yeah, I would say definitely an art. We're gonna start wrapping up here.
We're gonna take a quick pause. Actually,
No,
just really quick.
no, let's just wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up.
It's like
It's over. Wrap it up.
So, what do you think? Are sports art forms?
final conclusion, thesis, statement.
Let us know
Sports.
in the comments.
Oh, I thought you were asking me.
I'm asking them.
Okay.
I
No
think
one
we've-
cares what you think.
You and I
Art?
think it's a sport.
Yeah,
Tell
I would
us
like
not.
to hear some.
I mean, it's an art. Yeah, let us know, yes or no. Do you think it's an art? Do you think wrestling is transitioning into a nerd sports for fans of this demographic? And yeah, let us know in the comments. And we'll see you next week. I'm Josh.
I'm Joey.
Why do we say our names so much?
Because
We need them to know. We're building characters. Wait,
Yes.
but don't pause it yet. Follow us on Twitter
Twitter.com
at
slash
Fangeared.
Instagram.
Instagram.com slash
Fangeared.
Fangeared. Facebook.com slash
Fangeared.
Fangeared. And
Sound.
YouTube.com
YouTube
slash
Thank you to watch a new video we just posted.
Okay, bye.